It's another beer from Buxton Brewery. This time we're using the New Zealand hop Rakau. I hope that's how you pronounce it. But what's it going to taste like? Check out the review to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to review another beer from Buxton Brewery and their single hop. This is a Rakau hop. This is a New Zealand hop. It's less like the sort of Nelson Sauvin and those sort of hops. It's stone fruit flavours, tropical flavours, and but mainly stone fruit, apricots and peaches. So let's get this beer out of the can and into a glass. So Rakau, I'm sure I've seen this in more beers. Out of all these experimental hops, I'm sure this is probably one that is used. So it should be, hopefully it's going to be good. Straight away though, this beer looks quite different than a lot of the others. A lot of them have been very orangey. This is much more sort of custard colour, very, very yellow and hazy. The other ones have been very sort of slightly orangey, and I thought, well, all of them are going to look pretty much similar. The hop has not changed the colour. But this one, unless there's something wrong with that, but that is almost like, I mean, look at it. Look how yellow that is. I mean, the light probably isn't the greatest in here, but that is very yellow custard-like. That looks pretty damn good. Let's see what the aromas are like. Oh, it's got a real sweet, and I hate to say it because I've said it recently on these videos. Fruit salad sweets. Really sweet. I'm certainly getting peaches and apricots and mangoes. And there's something else. There's something, I don't know whether it's just the sweetness of it. It smells, oh, it's so inviting. It smells almost like there's a sort of milkiness to it. You know, it's almost like milk bottles or rhubarb and custard, you know, that sort of thing. It's almost got that sort of aroma. Yeah, fruit salad sweets, which I'm not sure what this fruit salad sweets, you know, everyone's had fruit salad sweets. We know what they taste like. You can imagine what they taste like, and it smells just like them. I'm not sure what the flavour is supposed to be on fruit salad sweets, but it certainly smells like it. And I'm quite amazed how much different it looks in its aroma. Just put a different hop in it. It looks completely different. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Wow, that tastes really, really nice. But really, really quite different than anything I've tasted before. I didn't say that, you know, it's got, I mean, the head is, even when I've just poured that more out, and it's literally a quarter of a finger of head. Definitely apricot, peaches, mangoes. But the sweetness of it, it's almost like it's peaches and cream. There's a real creamy flavour to it. I mean, obviously these beers are single hopped, so the recipe is exactly the same. The only difference is the hop. If I hadn't have known, I would have said this has got lactose in it, because it's got this real creamy, milky sort of flavour. And then you get quite a lot of grapefruit on the back end. And you think, oh, it's going to be a bit bitter, it's going to be a bit bitter, a little bit bitter, and then the bitter just sort of goes. And there's a pininess in that bitterness as well. So you're getting grapefruit and piney bitterness sort of competing with each other on the back end. Which is weird because the front end's very creamy and peachy and apricot-y. But it does have that very distinctive New Zealand type of flavour. You know, the Nelson Sauvin is the same. So you're getting a bit of melon and grape in there. You're getting those sort of like white wine sort of flavours. There's a lot going on in this beer. I need to really sort of sit back and really think about the flavours. Let's go in one more time before we get the scores and get some flavours. It's strange because when I first started drinking it, I'm getting a lot of apricot and peach and mango. And there's still those flavours in there, but it's almost being, as you drink more of it, you get much more of this sort of grapefruit flavour, and then there's pininess in there, and you can feel it coating the back of the throat. Yeah, I mean it's very much like a Nelson Sauvin hopped beer, very similar. But you get a little bit of creaminess on the front end, and it's almost metamorphosizing itself on the tongue. You know, every time you drink it, you're thinking, oh, I'm getting something different from this time. Now, every time I drink it, I get that grapefruit flavour almost right at the front. And almost that creaminess that I was getting originally is almost gone because the grapefruit bitterness, that pininess, the dryness is drying out the throat, drying out the back of the mouth, and it makes the next drink, the next taste that you have quite different. Makes it more grapefruity. It's almost like it's overwhelming. It's developing on the tongue. It's almost, as I say, it's a weird beer, and I still can't get over this colour. I hope it's not oxidized. I mean, it doesn't. For me, when I look at it on the camera, it looks a little darker than it is in real life. It is very straw coloured, very yellowy, very I wouldn't say it was custardy because it's got a slight sort of dark, bit more darkness than custard, but it's very straw-like. Straw-like, I think, is the best description of it. And the head is, you know, even the glass coating is quite unusual, really. Let's give it a bit of a swirl, see what it looks like. That head is literally, it doesn't want to stay, it wants to disappear, wants to go. It's almost now, as the dominant flavour is grapefruit. There's a little bit of apricot still there. But this is a beer that when you first taste it, you're getting a lot of grapefruits and peaches and a creamy sweetness. But now when I drink it, I'm getting all this grapefruit flavour. It's just like overwhelming grapefruit flavour. And I know I've said it before, certainly on these Buxton single hop brewery beers, is that it's quite nice, it's quite different, but this grapefruit is so overpowering. It needs another hop, it really does. Rakau. I would pronounce this Rakau. Almost like Rakau, the woman's name, but Rakau. It needs a little bit of something else, a little bit of Citra, a little bit of Mosaic, maybe some Galaxy and Enigma. It's just a little bit, it's almost like too experimental that they don't even know what's going on with this hop. I've rabbited on enough, and I've seen that we're up to 8 minutes already, so let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for the Buxton Brewery Rakau. I'm going to say Rakau. This is a very strange beer. It's very, very strange. The first thing that's strange about it is that it does not look like all the other beers. All the other single hop beers we've had from Buxton have looked very similar, but this one looks completely different. Much more clearer, not clearer, much more lighter straw coloured. The others were very sort of orange with a slight haze. This is a lot more hazy and a lot more yellow. I'm just going to put that right up to the screen so you can see that. It's quite amazing. And the flavour, from the first moment you taste it, you're getting this idea of the flavour. But then after you've had 3 or 4 mouthfuls of it, the flavour completely changes. It's very bizarre. But we'll start off with aroma. So the aroma, I mean, even the aroma. So when we first got the aroma, we got lots of apricots, stone fruits, mangoes, apricots, peaches. but there was a real creaminess about it. Almost like there was a sort of a lactose in the beer, vanilla sort of aroma, almost like peaches and cream or mango and cream. But it was like those stone fruits in a cream, very creamy. And then you weren't getting much else. Then you weren't picking up much else from the aroma. But now when I smell it, it's like, that's grapefruit. That's what it is. It's almost like the grapefruit, once it's in the glass, that grapefruit flavours start to develop and start to overpower everything else. The aroma is nice though, and I remember that first smell of this beer when I first put it into the glass, and it was peaches and cream and apricots, and this creaminess was lovely. So I would give it 13 for aroma, appearance wise. Well, as I said, I thought all of these single hop beers are going to look exactly the same. You know, you change the hop, and it might change some of the flavour profiles, but generally speaking, the yeast, the malts, all the rest of it, they all look the same. And certainly the last 3 that we've had have all looked very similar. Well, I say similar, they've pretty much looked the same, but this one looked completely different. That's a straw-coloured beer. That's like a New England IPA. The others haven't really looked like a New England IPA, which I think is pretty good. I love that colour. When I see that colour, I get excited. So I'm giving it 8 out of 10, flavour-wise. Well, I have to keep tasting it because the grapefruit is so dominant now. It's so big, massive grapefruit flavours. When you first tasted it though, we had peaches and it was sweet. There was a sweetness about it, peaches and cream, and then you had apricots and mangoes, and yep, you're ticking the box then. Yeah, we know that when we looked at the profile for Rakau hop, it was about stone fruits, and the stone fruits are definitely there. But then you get this sort of grapefruit flavour, and then it's like, wow, it's a big grapefruit flavour on the back end, and then you have 2 or 3 more sips of it, and you're thinking, I can't get those stone fruits now. The grapefruit is so overpowering. It's almost like it develops in the glass. It's nice if you like grapefruit. It reminds me of some New England IPAs that we've had, where we've had grapefruit. Usually we get a bit of pineapple on the front end and then grapefruit on the back end. This reminds me of a back end New England IPA. But the grapefruit is really, really dominant. It's over dominating the beer. You know, it's like the peaches and cream is almost like lost after you've had 3 or 4 mouthfuls of it. But it's still good, so I'm going to get 33 for flavour. Value for money, well, it's another, you know, it's the same price as the others. We're going to make it out of 10 for value for money, £3.5. Overall experience, well, I'm a little bit flummoxed by this beer because it looked completely different than all the other ones. It had a flavour of stone fruits that we read on the blurb in terms of what the hop was all about. And we went, yep, it's got stone fruits. But now there's this grapefruit flavour. I've now finished that beer. It's nice. It's really, really, it's probably, to me, it's still, it's the best of these experimental hops. But I'm still a little bit, I'm going to go away and I'm just going to, you know, it's going to bother me a little bit because that grapefruit flavour came in and then it really dominated. And I just wonder whether it's, you know, I wonder if I had another can of that, whether I'd get the same, you know, because the flavour at the front was so different. The first couple of sips were so different than the last half a pint or whatever that I had. And it makes me want to drink it again. Because it's very, I say this, but it's very New Zealand-esque. It's got that sort of New Zealand flavour. There's that grapefruit, but there's also, it's all very sort of green sort of fruits, grapey, you know, that white wine flavour, the sort of bit of melon in there, you know, kiwi fruit even. I really like it, and I want to drink more of it because I just. There's something about it that makes you sort of think, oh, it's messed with my mind a little bit, so you want to drink it again. So I think overall experience, I'm going to get 13. Tighten those scores up, we get 75. And that's the best score out of these experimental hops. And every single one that we've tried, it's not by any sort of choice. I've not drank all of them and then thought, oh, I'm going to release the videos one by one with the worst first and the best last. But again, this one is just a little bit better than the last one. 75 out of 100, recommended, White Snake beer. I've finished the beer. I don't even know what I'm going to photograph now in terms of the thumbnail. But until the next one, you know what you got to do. Keep on rocking!